York's classic rock, Q1043.
Ken Dashow, Q104.3, in the fancy studio with me. Someone no stranger to the Q104.3 audience. From the Allman Brothers, from the Dad and Company, from Gov't Mule, the man, the myth, the legend, Mr. Warren Haynes.
Glad to be here. Never been in this room before.
I know. It's a fancy looking room, huh?
It's fancy.
So Gov't Mule, just like Fish doing their thing, end of year, Gov't Mule at the Beacons become a thing.
Yeah, we've been doing it a long time.
How long have you been doing it?
I don't know exactly. It's got to be around 20 years. I don't know.
Wow.
I wish I had that information, but it's become home for us, especially New Year's.
Yeah. I mean, it's just the perfect place because it starts, from the brothers of what you do. That was always the Beacon. It was always peaking at the Beacon in the spring. And with Love Rocks that we do now, that you're such a big part of it. So I found out that the theme this year, and I guess we're breaking the news, the theme this year, just, when you did Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Mule, which is just one of the greatest things I ever heard. I worship that. So this year's theme is 1971.
Yeah.
1971. Here's a few of the albums released that year. Zepp 4, The Who's Next, John Lennon's Imagine, Low Spark of the High Heel Boys, Traffic, just the most seminal album in my life. George Harrison's All Things Must Pass, Every Picture Tells a Story, L.A. Woman, Pink Floyd's Metal, Allman Brothers Live at the Fillmore, Jethro Tull's Aqualung, Elton John, Madman Across the Water, Grateful Dead, Van Morrison, Tupelo Honey, Bowie, Hunky Dory, and that's a partial list of 1971.
Very partial.
Jeez Louise.
The list is enormous.
How do you even begin to pick what to play from that list? That's a 3-day show.
It's going to be tough, yeah. A lot of it will be just records that I grew up with always wanting to play and never did. But at the same time, we're just barely touching on the vast list of amazing stuff. So it'll change between now and then. And what sounds good at rehearsal will have something to do with it. But we're starting to get a pretty good idea of what we're going to do. And there are a lot of songs from 71 that we've already covered, so we won't concentrate so much on those. We might throw a handful of them in, but mostly stuff we've never done before because that's the fun of it.
Right. So just picking one album, Who's Next? What have you played from Who's Next? Won't Get Fooled, Bob O'Reilly.
Interesting you should say that. Halloween one year, we played the entire album.
Did you really?
Yeah, and it was a blast. It was really, really fun. And so we'll pull out something from that album. I'm not sure what. Maybe We Won't Get Fooled Again or something. But, records like that, I have fond memories of when like visual memories of when they came out. And we heard that stuff so much. But I had started to play guitar at that time. Maybe I think I had just...
How old were you?
11.
Wow.
I was 11. Sorry, Eric Wellman. So my oldest brother got a guitar when I was 11, and I played it more than he did, and so my dad got me my own guitar when I was 12. So I just started to play guitar, but not good enough to learn all these songs, and a lot of them I've never played, so it's going to be interesting to kind of transform them from what's in my head from being 11 years old to how they really go.
Right. Did you learn by ear at first? Did you just
I had a teacher for a few weeks, but I mostly was self-taught.
It's amazing how many most incredible musicians are self-taught. Randy Bachman, dear friend and Beatles fan like us, he said, whenever I'm asked, did you have any formal music education? He always says, yeah, I listen to Beatle records. He said, but I was the kid, when I got my guitar, I sat with my little phonograph and some iced tea and my guitar and a notepad. And I learned what the scales were. I learned what the notes were. So I just sat and would listen till I could play each part just over and over again. And I said, I wasn't just learning the notes, but seeing how songs are put together. It was like taking it apart like a watch and seeing that the intro is its own hook. And the melody line is its own hook. And the bridge is a different thing. And I sort of learned just by listening to all these songs going, So how does that work? Why did that go to that? Okay, note that. And taught himself.
And there's rules, but there are no rules. There are like formulas, but really people that strayed away from the formulas were the ones that I loved.
Right.
When you would hear an intro that only happened once in the song, or a bridge that happened again, but in a different key and stuff like that. It made you scratch your head and go, wow, how'd they think of that?
I mean, one of the things about the two bands that you had joined, the legendary bands of Allman Brothers and Grateful Dead, was that it didn't have to sound like the record. Nobody ever said, now let's make sure it sounds like the record, because it wasn't about hits. It was about playing, about the music. And if something organic happened, it could go that way, which was why we always came.
Yeah, and I always tell people that the bands that I have been in and that I love, the music that I really, really love, a lot of bands, they go into the studio, they make a record, and then they have to figure out how to duplicate that live. And we're kind of the opposite. We're trying to figure out how we can capture what we know we're capable of live in the studio. And so it's kind of, the antithesis of the way a lot of people make records. But for this style of music, I think it's the best way.
Well, McCartney has always said, we stopped touring so that we could experiment in the studio.
Yeah.
And that gave us that 67 Sgt. Pepper's Magical Mystery Tour, backwards tape loops and double effects. And, he said, if I ever thought I was going to have to play all that live for the rest of my life, I don't know, maybe I would have rethought it. And I asked him, did you ever think of adding more musicians to the band and having extra players? He's like, I grew up playing with a small group. And I think it's wonderful when there's 13 people on stage. It's just not what I'm used to. And he's got an amazing keyboard player in Wicks who, like he said, I'm the dustman. I pick up whatever nobody else can play, and I got to try to play it on the keyboards, which is wild. So Warren is here. I think we can give away some tickets, too, to Warren for New Year's Eve. So you talked about all the covers that you did. You go to a Gov't Mule show, you're getting originals, you're getting covers, you're getting things you didn't expect. When you put together a set list, you were talking about it. Usually one set is all originals, and the next set is the theme, Pink Floyd to 71. Do you ever stop and think how many songs you've played through the years live?
No. I mean, it's in the thousands for sure.
Thousands.
I mean, because Gov't Mule has played well over 1,000 songs. So in my life, I can't imagine, but I can say that that's part of the beauty. That's part of what kind of keeps me inspired. We predominantly play Gov't Mule songs, but we do a long show. So if we're going to play for 3 hours, and if we pull out 2 cover songs on a normal night, then there's nothing weird about that. It is a little bizarre on New Year's Eve and Halloween to play a whole set of somebody else's music or a thematic set. But those are the 2 nights of the year that we think it's cool.
Absolutely. It's almost like wearing a costume,
Yeah,
I thought
exactly. That's the way we look at it.
Yeah, without a doubt. Warren Haynes, Gov't Mule, on the road. When did you first go on the road? Do you remember your first tour?
1977. I was 17, and I was in a band in Asheville, North Carolina, where I grew up, and we had an old school bus. We didn't own it. It belonged to a friend of one of the guys, but he let us use it, and it would only go about 52 miles an hour, so we were late to every gig. But we went, Virginia, Georgia, Florida, South Carolina. We, just
Even the Southeast, wherever you could get to.
And for a 17-year-old, it was quite an experience.
We were talking earlier about, the new Spinal Tap 2 movie that's coming out this year, and that you actually got to play with Spinal Tap. Warren joined them at the Beacon Theater.
Yeah.
And it's the most Spinal Tap story there could be of Spinal Tap. Would you tell the story?
The sound check.
Yeah.
They called and said, we would love for you to come and sit in. Can you be at sound check at 5:30? And I said, sure. So I showed up right on time and someone came to the back door and said, "Oh no, they're going to dinner. They're not going to be back till showtime." I was like,
That's as Spinal Tap as it
of course
gets.
they are.
I mean, every musician I've ever talked to knows Spinal Tap, knows the reference to Stonehenge. We were talking about the Radiators, our friends in New Orleans. When it starts to go off the rails, Dave Malone, the lead singer, goes like this on stage because the band is lost. Tell the story about opening for the Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes.
Oh, well, Gov't Mule opened a show in Milwaukee for Jimmy Page and the Black Crowes, and we were about to walk on stage, and Jimmy came up and said, "Hey, guys, I want to watch your set. Can I just walk with you?" And we said, "Sure." And so he was following us to the stage. We had a tour manager who was very green and hadn't really mapped out the way to the stage, and it was a very confusing venue. And so we opened the first door and it was wrong. We opened the second door and it was wrong. We opened the third door and it was wrong. And Jimmy Page goes, "Hello, Cleveland." And it was just hilarious. Jimmy Page quoting Spinal Tap. You know, we all quote Spinal Tap.
It doesn't get better than that. It really doesn't. Warren Haynes is here, and God, there's a video that's been circulating. Just one of the most beautiful things I've seen of you and Derek Trucks playing Sweet Melissa, playing Melissa from the Allman Brothers. It's just so heartbreaking, beautiful. You play so well together. And for me, I happened to be there that night to bring you guys on at the Beacon, Derek's first show. And you introduced me to him. This is Derek. He's going to play. Pleasure to meet you, sir. I'm like, hey, it's Ken, the rock DJ. He must have tuned his guitar about 30, 40 times between the time I introduced it and the time you were hitting the stage. And then he had a cloth, and he was wiping the neck down, and then he was wiping the strings. And I said, "Hey, Derek, just a quick moment." I said, "You know, nepotism kind of puts you in this world." I said, "But you wouldn't be asked to be on that stage if Warren and Greg didn't think you could cut it. You're there because they know you deserve it and you own it. Your only job tonight is to have fun." And he said, "Thank you so much." And he's a star. Tedeschi Trucks is amazing, but I always think about that nervous kid walking out. The weight I think that he felt going out on that stage with you. And of course, it was spectacular right off the bat.
He was great the first time I heard him when he was 11 years old, which 11 seems to be
how
the
circular
theme.
is that?
Right.
How circular.
Yeah.
You heard him when he was 11.
I did, and he sounded great then.
Yeah, it's magical. So I always ask Warren, he brought a guitar and brought an amp, if you play something for us. And whether you guys have seen the clip or not, could I ask, would you do Melissa for us?
Sure.
Warren Haynes, live from the iHeart Studios here at Q104.3. Okay, so the coolest thing about Warren Haynes coming up to Q104.3 is he always brings a guitar and an amp, so we can ask him for a song. This is like a vintage Gibson guitar. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. This was actually given to me by Greg Allman when we were writing songs together for the Hitting the Note record, which was the last album we did.
Wow. What is it?
It's a 1967 Gibson ES 355. And we had just finished writing the song Desdemona, and I was playing this guitar, and Greg said, "You know, I don't play that guitar very much. Won't you keep it?" And I was just like,
wow.
So I had to think of something to trade him in exchange, but it was a beautiful gift.
Wow. Speaking of which, you mentioned Melissa that you did with Derek Trucks. Can we hear a little Melissa?
Sure.
Warren Haynes, live, Q104.3.
Crossroads seem to come and go. Yeah, the gypsy flies from coast to coast, knowing many, loving none. sharing sorrow and having fun. But back home, you'll always run to sweet Melissa. Freight train, each car looks the same. All the same. No one knows the gypsy's name, but no one hears his lonely sighs. There are no blankets where it lies. His deepest dreams, the gypsy flies to sweet Melissa. Again the morning's come, again he's on the run. Sunbeam shining through his hair, prepare not to have a care. Pick up your gear and gypsy roll on. Oh, crossroads, will you ever let him go? Will you hide dead man's ghost? Will he lie beneath the clay? Will his spirit float away? But I know he won't stay without Melissa. Yes, I know he won't stay here without Melissa.
Wow. It's just gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Warren Haynes. Did I hear the story right that Greg came in before the sessions were supposed to start and just sat down and laid that down? Is that?
I think so. Yeah, I think that's the case.
I can't imagine. Hey, before everybody gets here, let me just record this magical song that came to me.
A lot of great stuff has been done that way through the years, and when you hear the stories, it's like, wow, but yeah, that's the way it works.
Do you miss it? Do you miss the brothers?
Oh, amazingly, yeah. You know, our last show was in 2014 at the Beacon, and it was great. We went out on a high note, which is what everybody wanted to do. It was a fantastic show, probably the longest Allman Brothers show ever. We kind of did 3 sets that night, but everybody just left it all on stage that night.
The beautiful memory. You're right. That's how you go out. Can we talk you into doing one more for us?
Sure.
Okay.
You gotta,
Stonehenge or Big Bottoms? What do you? Give me some money, maybe.
give me some money.
You know what I want.
I love that.
But your face is okay. But your purse is too tight. You can't. It's gold. What do you? What do you feel like playing? Play something else for us.
Well, we were talking earlier about
The covers and things. Yeah.
the U2 cover one, which I only do every now and then these days, but
Pull it out for us.
sure, absolutely.
Warren Haynes, U2's One at Q104.3, New York's classic rock.
Is it getting better? Is it still the same? Will it make it easier on you? Now that you got someone to blame, you said one love, one life, one need in the night, one love, we get to share it, but it leaves you, baby, if you don't care for it. Did I disappoint you? Leaving bad taste in your mouth? You act like you never had love, and you want me to go without. Well, it's too late tonight to drag the past out into the light. One, we're not the same. We carry each other, one. You come here for forgiveness. You come to raise the dead. You come here to play Jesus to all the lepers in your head. Did I ask too much? More than a lot. You gave me nothing, now that's all I got. One, we're not the same. We hurt each other and we do it again. And you say, love is the temple, love the high and low. Love is the temple, love the high and low. You ask me to enter, and then you make me crawl. But I can't keep holding on to what you got when all you got is hurt.
Unbelievable. Warren Haynes, live from Q104.3. My friend, I can't thank you enough.
My pleasure.
New Year's Eve, Beacon Theater, Gov't Mule, playing originals, and doing 1971 when half our albums were released. I can't wait.
New York's classic rock, Q104.3.